Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. So I've been really excited to start filming again, and I've been kind of racking my brain thinking of what I wanted to do, so I thought it'd be really fun for me to start doing series of soaps. So for the summer of 2018, what I thought would be really fun is if I did cocktail soaps. So I don't know about you guys, but I think like anybody else in my age group, I kind of have a drinking problem. And I'm just joking whenever I say that, but only mildly. So I thought that this series would be really fun. I'm going to be doing different ones that I'll release to you guys as the weeks go by, but the one that we're starting with today is Pina Colada. It's got kind of like this creamy, somewhat yellow base. It's got a cherry. It's having like this yellow moment on the inside. So I kind of just got my colors together, kind of experimented with what I wanted it to look like, and we're going to execute the plan right now. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on our cocktails. Okay, so I'm sure you guys know the drill by now. I've got my oils inside of here and my lye water solution over there. I'm wearing gloves for protection because if you guys ever start making soap, you really want to make sure that you never get this near your skin because it will burn you and you will die. Again, I'm joking, but you will get really hurt. So something that's a little bit different about my oils this time around is I'm using a new recipe. This one has got some shea butter up in there. It's got a couple different kinds of oils that I haven't really used before. So this one is kind of a little bit different. It should be really good for the skin. Okay, as you guys know, I'm going to go ahead and take my stick blender, pour in the lye water solution, and we are going to stick blend this until it reaches a light trace. Okay, that looks wonderful. In these buckets here, I've got a little bit of this tropical looking orange, and then I've got this kind of pale yellow color. The oils have kind of made this soap batter turn a little bit orange itself. If you guys have noticed, that's a little bit funky, but whatever, we're gonna work with it. The fragrance oil that I'm using today is called Jamaica Me Crazy. It has this really nice kind of coconutty type of like tropical smell to it. It smells like pineapples a little bit as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and split the batch. I'm trying to make these all even. We want it to be about 15 ounces each, and all of the color has rubbed off of this one over here, so that's great. Okay, so now that I've got the batch just about even, I'm going to go ahead and stick blend the colors into these ones so that there's no clumping or anything like that on the inside. And then I'm going to add some titanium dioxide, I think, to this one and this one so it can turn a nice creamy color like the Pina Colada. Fan-freaking-tastic. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add the fragrance oil. So we're just going to put it in equal parts over here. I'm going to go ahead and use a spatula to mix this all in, just like this. Okay, next order of business. I'm going to go ahead and take my mold right here. Move the colors out of my way. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and start my swirl. So I'm gonna do kind of like a layered stripe type of thing today. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with just this thin line right here. I might need a little bit more. And I'm just gonna go ahead and keep on layering the soap, just like this. Alright, so now that I've scooped all of the soap out of all of the containers, I'm going to go ahead and just try to flatten this out as best as I can. So I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of tap it down, just like this, to make sure that everything is nice and flat. Okay, fabulous. So the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my piping mixture together, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to frost the top of the soap. So be back in a split. Okay guys, so we are back. Obviously, the next day. See, I don't know, something weird happened last night with my piping recipe. I obviously mix up this separate batch of soap that goes inside of the piping bag like this, and that's what I'll use to put the decoration on top. So I was mixing up the oils and the lye at room temperature, which normally will keep your soap like really, really runny. And for some reason, as soon as I put the spoon in, it turned into like stone. There is some amount of chemistry that goes into making soap, and well, I just don't know what happened yesterday, honestly. Moving on. I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. I'm using a round tip today. So I'm just gonna put 3 little dollops just like that. And I'm kind of using these 3 bottom ones to kind of just fill it all the way to the top to substitute for the soap that didn't make it go all the way to the top. My calculations must have been off. For the oil, just a little bit, just by an ounce or 2, which is fine. Okay, so now that I filled the base a little bit, I'm just gonna fill in these little holes right here with just a little bit. Sorry if I'm sounding raspy, guys. We had just gotten back from EDC, I think about 2 weeks ago, and since I spent 3 days screaming and cheering and drinking and smoking cigarettes, my voice has just kind of been suffering ever since then. Last night when my soap batch had failed, it kind of shocked me. I was kind of like, oh crap, now I'm gonna have to start all over, and I started to stress myself out just a little bit. So I started getting anxious. As all of you know, I have anxiety. But I've kind of been dealing with it in a different way lately. I've kind of just been telling myself, well, you know what, there's nothing that I can do to kind of make any of my situations that I'm worrying about better. So in turn, I've kind of just been like, screw you, anxiety. I'm just gonna do all these things that make me nervous and give me panic attacks, and whatever, we'll see what happens. And it's actually been doing really good for me. Yesterday I went with my roommate, and she was gonna go and hang out with one of her friends that I had not really ever met before, and it was actually pretty good. I'm really shy around new people, so thumbs up to me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and continue filling the spaces. I'm gonna put a center plop just right onto these ones. Okay, just like that. Little toppers that I'm using today are these little cherries that I made. So we're gonna stick these just right on top of the towers right here. Okay, and now that I've got all the little cherries on top right here, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take this little cup, and I've mixed a little bit of orange mica with just a little bit of oil. And I'm gonna put it into the dropper like this, and I'm just gonna put a little drizzle across the soap. Just like that. Okay. I'm going to take this Twinkling Lights glitter, and then we're just going to go across and just kind of let it fall. and it kind of gives this appearance of like sugared salt. We're gonna go ahead and go back in with the Snowflake Sparkle Mica, if the camera will focus on that. Snowflake Sparkle Mica. Okay, that is Butamus. Okay, awesome. So the last thing that we're going to do is I'm just going to take my spray bottle with rubbing alcohol, and I'm going to give everything a good spritz. All right, and this soap is finished.